8.3 Forecasting. Let us see how we can use this simplified economic profit model to value Ryman Healthcare. We know that the current abnormal operating income, TO22, of Ryman Healthcare is $269.3 million. Its current book value of equity, 2022, is $3,434.5 million. And our estimate of its cost of capital, WACC, is 8% per year. Based on the assumption of Ryman Healthcare's abnormal operating income being a random walk with no drift, that is, we have no idea where our abnormal operating income dance partner is likely to step next, then our economic profit model for Ryman Healthcare would be value of equity equals BV0 plus abnormal operating income 0 all over weighted average cost of capital minus 1, which equals $3,434.5 million plus $269.3 million divided by 0.08, which equals $6,807.7 million, or about $13.60 per share. We could run a sensitivity analysis of Ryman Healthcare's cost of capital for the firm, say of between 6% and 10% per year. The impact of our assessed value of Ryman Healthcare of running this sensitivity analysis is set out in Table 8.1. From this table, we can see our value of Ryman Healthcare would lie between $7.9 billion, or $15.85 per share, weighted average cost of capital equals 6%, and about $6.1 billion, or $12.25 per share, weighted average cost of capital equals 10%. Quite a range, but all values are substantially more than Ryman Healthcare's share price on 9th of October 2022 of $8.01 per share. This suggests that Mr. Market considers Ryman Healthcare's current abnormal operating income is likely to decline substantially in the future. Table 8.1, Ryman Healthcare with no growth, sensitivity analysis on cost of capital, weighted average cost of capital. So much for our random walk view of Ryman Healthcare's abnormal operating income with no growth. If we add in drift, say a 2% growth rate, that is, we have no idea where our normal operating income dance partner is likely to step to next, but we expect to drift over time to one end of the dance floor, or in other words, for there to be growth in abnormal operating income over time. Then our economic profit valuation of Ryman Healthcare would be value of equity equals book value 0 plus abnormal operating income 0 divided by weighted average cost of capital minus G, which equals $3,434.5 million plus $269.3 million divided by 1.08 minus 1.02. which equals $7,922.8 million, or $15.85 per share. We could run a sensitivity of Ryman Healthcare's cost of capital for the firm, say of between 10% and 10% per year, 6% and 10% per year. The sensitivity or impact on our assessed value of Ryman Healthcare of varying its cost of capital for the firm in this way is set out in Table 8.2. From this table, we can see our value of Ryman Healthcare would lie between about $10.2 billion, or $20.33 per share, weighted average cost of capital equals 6%, and about $6.8 billion, or $13.6 per share, weighted average cost of capital equals 10%. A rather wide range, which again shows quite a degree of sensitivity to the level of weighted average cost of capital. Adding decay to our random walk. We noted earlier that thinking of Ryman Healthcare's abnormal operating income as a random walk is another way of saying that our best guess is that the current economic and business drivers of its abnormal operating income will continue as they are forever, and that any changes to these economic and business drivers in the future are completely unpredictable. As we saw in Chapter 7, forever is a long time. Indeed, it is an eternity. We know that the current economic and business drivers of a firm's abnormal operating income are not likely to persist forever. Increased competition in the provision of retirement villages in New Zealand and Australia, a gradual slowdown in the rate of increase of the proportion of those over 75 years old in New Zealand and Australia that enter retirement villages, a slowdown in the growth rate of Ryman Healthcare's development of new retirement villages and so on, may eventually reduce the opportunities for Ryman Healthcare to earn additional abnormal operating income in the future. If we think that the current economic and business factors driving Ryman Healthcare's current abnormal operating income will gradually become less favourable for Ryman Healthcare over time, and the current abnormal operating income of Ryman Healthcare reduce or decay over time, then we can introduce a decay factor into our simplified economic profit model and forecast a gradual decline each year in abnormal operating income as follows. Forecast abnormal operating income year 1 equals beta times abnormal operating income in year 0, where beta is the rate at which the abnormal operating income of Ryman Healthcare is estimated to decay over time. If beta equals 0, then we would be assuming Ryman Healthcare's abnormal operating income would decay completely, that is, disappear within 1 year. If beta equals 1, we would be assuming there would be no decay in Ryman Healthcare's abnormal operating income. A figure of 0.6 for beta would be a reasonably typical figure to use, which I will assume for Ryman Healthcare as follows. VE equals book value year 0 plus beta times abnormal operating income year 0, all divided by weighted average cost of capital minus beta, which equals $3,434.5 million plus 0.6 times $269.3 million, all divided by 1.08 minus 0.6, which equals $3,771.1 million or $7.54 per share. We could also run a sensitivity analysis of our decay factor for Ryman Healthcare, say of between 0.4 and 0.9. The impact on our assessed value of Ryman Healthcare of running this sensitivity is set out in Table 8.3. From this table, we can see our value of Ryman Healthcare would lie between about $3.6 billion or $7.19 per share, beta equals 0.4, and about $4.8 billion or 9.56 per share, beta equals 0.9. Due to the relatively low level of abnormal operating income compared to the level of book value of equity, there is little change in the value of Ryman Healthcare with changes in the decay factor. Also, this compares to a value of $7.9 billion and $15.85 per share with no decay factor and a cost of capital, weighted average cost of capital of 8%. See Table 8.1 above.